All right. What's up, losers? Welcome to episode 1 of The Back Page.
Wow.
Are you kidding?
Wow. I felt that.
You-
I really felt that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That feel good?
That felt great. It feels like this has been coming for a while. We've been brewing this idea. We've yet to execute. We're now executing.
We're finally here. Look, we'll put it this way. 10 to 15 minutes at the end of the episode is just not long enough for Xander and I to unpack what we need to unpack.
And it's not precise enough. It's too fast. It's not. We want to give you, those sport fans, because not everyone wants to hear that as well.
Exactly.
So for those who want to hear us talk absolute dribble about the sport, welcome. You've come to the right place.
Here we are.
You have definitely come to the right place.
I'd say at some stage we'll probably have a super coach segment included in the back page.
But first one, we're finding our feet.
Mate, look, as all great podcasts do, they need to find their identity.
Yeah.
And that comes with reps, mate.
Yeah.
So episode 1 today, meat and potatoes. We get through our sets, we kick to the corner. All right, we do what we know best.
Yeah.
Great weekend of rugby league. I feel like I say it every week.
Magic round.
Mate, like a festival of rugby. That's what it is. It's a festival.
It is the mecca of rugby league.
It's the mecca of dribble is what it is.
It sure is. It bloody oath it is. Now, Magic Round, although it's unfortunately in the city of Brisbane, it seems to be a success every year. I always think, do the players like playing up there? They must do, because all the games are usually pretty good quality.
But like, dude, it's honestly like the perfect place for it. It couldn't go on in New South Wales because our restrictions and stuff are just too tight. Like having 50,000 dribblers walking down Oxford Street,
It just wouldn't.
it wouldn't work, mate.
No.
You know what I mean? Like Caxton Street is just perfect for it. Having been there myself, and I'll say this: when the game rolled around on Friday at 6 p.m, little disappointed I wasn't there. I could feel the magic in the air.
Yeah.
And I was a little disappointed we didn't make it.
Yeah, well, there was talk of going, but obviously people have Europe and whatnot, so
It was a little bit too little, too late sort of thing.
Too late. But I mean, if I wasn't going to Europe, I would have definitely gone.
Yeah, it would have been awesome.
Yes. First game. We'll do the reviews first.
We'll go
to
through
the round
the
reviews
games.
first for NRL. Pardon me. Bulldogs Raiders first game. Look.
I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this game.
I enjoyed it. It was a bit like of an action movie style game. There was just plenty going on. There was just tries after tries.
Mate, Rapana in the first minute.
Yeah. And then Burton putting up torpies. Putting up monster torpies.
Yeah.
How good. That's what it's about. Raiders having a bit of a run. Flying very under the radar. Matt Timoko. Or Matt Timogoat.
Yeah.
Playing sensational.
More commonly known as Timmergoat.
Yeah. Our good friend Alex Blav, the man,
Yeah.
Milk fan, he'll be frothing right now. Last
No
couple
pun
weeks.
intended.
No, yeah, literally. Sorry, yeah, no pun intended. Frothing.
The milk will be frothing.
yeah,
I can tell you
the
that.
milk is frothing right now. And look, Jared Croker, how good to see him back.
Yeah,
Just
dude.
an absolute.
Mate, Raiders through and through.
So
Raiders
just-
through and through.
You can't describe someone like that as
No.
like a clubman.
Nah.
He's
having-
like Josh Jackson spec
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, goal kicking, one of the great goal kickers.
Chris
as well.
Lawrence spec, even.
Yeah, true.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mitchell Orbison.
You
Mate,
know,
the list goes on.
But it's just good to see him back because he deserves to hit that 300 game milestone as well.
What's he at?
He's not far off. That was the whole thing last year when he kept getting injured. Is that he just had to play another handful of games. So I think he's almost there.
Yeah. I quite like when the Raiders are going well. I like it.
They're a real like people's team.
Yeah, and they're doing all right. It's fine. It's annoying now that like for them and that Whiten's leaving because it's like they haven't. I feel like they haven't really settled with their spine yet. Since Fogarty's gotten there, which is disappointing because we might see it a little bit on the tail end of this season, but we won't see it going forward, obviously. But they've looked all right since the whole Whiten thing has come to a head.
Their best game is pretty bloody good too.
Yeah.
And they've always been like that.
Yeah.
Where they're the type of team that could beat pretty much anyone in the comp.
They love beating Melbourne in Melbourne.
Yeah, they're Melbourne bogey team. They beat the Broncos already this year. They're not a team to to ignore come finals footy.
It'll be interesting to see.
Corey Horsburgh as well is having a sensational
dude.
year. Finally getting some more consistent minutes.
When did he become a ball playing lock? When did that happen?
Well, the Raiders pack one of the most heavily rotated. It feels like feels a bit more settled. They're playing more minutes. I feel like so. Look, happy to see it. He's been on fire.
Yeah,
recently.
they've got a great pack.
Yeah, they do. Just big.
What do you-
big boys?
It'll be interesting to see what happens with their fullback situation because obviously Chris was ruled out. Not Chris. Savage was ruled out for sort of the first 10 rounds of this season, first 9 rounds of the season with a broken jaw.
Hopper Whitey was playing on the wing.
Hopewadi's on the wing, and Seb Chris has gone back there and just been unreal. Like he's just been awesome.
Yeah, and then they've taken Hopper Whitey out and put in Savage.
Well, Savage has got to be there, I think, to some extent.
Well, they're not going to put Chris. They're not going to replace Chris for Croker because Croker's a club legend, and Tim McCaw's playing too good to get rid of him. He's been too explosive. So it's like, well, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, well, exactly right.
So, look, I like where they're going. I like what's happening with the Raiders at the moment. The Dogs kind of, they're floundering, but they've got a kind of somewhat of an excuse. They're only missing 14 players through injury, so you can't really take it too. You can't be too hard on them because they're missing some pretty key players.
Yeah.
But look, Burton to 7. I like that move. So he's like,
I like it a lot too.
Yeah.
I like it a lot too. I'm always very vocal, when I talk rugby league about the scarcity of halfbacks, and there's just not that many going around. There's not even 16 or 17 good ones barely. So it's like to have a player like Matt Burton, Nico Hines to an extent as well, who was kind of a traditional 6, made the successful transition to halfback.
We just want your best player touching the ball as much as often, and you do that the most from halfback and hooker, really.
Yeah.
So, I liked it. I like the change.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how is it Oluwapu? Is that his name?
Yeah,
He's
that young guy.
Yeah, I don't know much about him. Very highly touted by the sounds of it. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors around Kyle Flanagan at the moment, so don't know how that'll play out. Josh Reynolds I think Josh Reynolds still starting at 6, and then Oluwapu's coming off the bench. The Bulldogs, like you say, definitely got an excuse with so many injuries. I don't think you realise how much of an impact Addo Carr has on that side as well.
Yeah, and like Carraz as well, out too. He was sensational to start the year.
Yeah, he was back on the weekend.
Oh, he was back, was he?
Yeah, he played on Friday. So I think once they're players, I still, again, I don't think they're a top 8 side. Yeah, I still think they're lacking
but with a full team.
Yeah, I don't know where they're at with their sort of, obviously Burton's just changed to 7. Who's playing hooker?
Reed Marnie.
Oh. Idiot.
Of course. Kickout's not there.
Kickout's out. He's out to round 22.
Like, Matt, but it's been good. They've had a couple players stand up. Like Max King this year he was good last year.
Yeah.
For them. He was great for them last year. He has been awesome again this year.
Yeah.
He's improved. How did he sneak out of the Melbourne system?
Yeah, don't know.
That shocks me that he
Don't know.
is.
Has he been to the Dogs for 2 years?
Yeah. I think so.
Okay.
But it just shocks me that anyway. And then also Jacob Preston been awesome.
Oh, he's been what a revelation.
Absolute revelation. So,
Lot to be hopeful about for the Bulldogs, I
Absolutely.
think. I don't think they'll make the finals this year, but they're not far off.
And they get Stephen Crichton next year.
Oh, that helps.
So, look, that'll be pretty handy for them.
That helps a lot.
On to the next game, Manly Broncos. Look, if anyone thought Manly was actually going to win this game, you're kidding yourself. You were kidding yourself.
Yeah.
Haas and Man back. Broncos hot. Magic round in Brisbane. Manly kind of teetering on the, the last few weeks, their form has just been declining.
Flaccid is a word that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Manly been quite flaccid over the last few weeks.
No bite. And look, they got absolutely destroyed. And no Gerbo as well, who is the heart of their defence.
Dude, he's so important to that side.
I was saying before he got injured, I think this could be like one of his better seasons he's had.
Yeah, 100%.
I think he's been so good this year.
100%. Well, we saw the impact he has on a side, like leaving him out of New South Wales game 1 last year.
Yeah, literally.
And it's easy to go because he's sort of like not that sort of flashy play. He's not an athletic freak like Payne Haas or or Tavita Pangai or someone like that. But mate, he's just a textbook rugby league
He's
player
just efficient.
and like a spiritual leader for that Manly side.
Yeah.
You know, like. Yeah, he's a massive loss for them. It seems like he's out for a while. I think he's going to
got
miss
another-
Origin 1 too, which
He's
we'll
got
come
another
back
2
to.
weeks, I think.
Oh, he's only 2 weeks?
I think it was 4 weeks, but we'll see. He'll play Origin for sure. I think.
I bloody
I hope
hope so, mate. I
Same.
bloody hope so.
Yeah, but look, Manly got rolled. This whole, it just seems like they're just having a couple debacles at the moment.
Mm,
It just continues.
mm.
Josh Schuster, they've kind of Cherry Evans came out and said he needs to work harder. Although apparently he was working hard. Who knows? Who bloody knows?
Yeah, there's a bit going on there.
Apparently
A bit
he's
going
on 800K,
Is that true?
which I don't know whether that's a bit of, a G up. But look, it's a lot of money for someone who's not playing and has played probably less than 40 games of NRL.
Yeah, and how many would he have played at 6? Less than 10?
That's a lot of money. But look,
Or did he play all of last year at 6? And I just can't
no,
remember.
he didn't. I swear he was injured so
Yeah.
much last year. But look, we'll see what happens. Watch that space with Manly.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I kind of like with Manly, we were kind of all expecting if Tommy's fit, Manly throb, and I don't know. What were your thoughts about Tommy on Friday? Because he looked a little to me. He just looked a little off.
Well, okay. Firstly, I think maybe it's a bit of a different style. If they're playing a different style, he might not be as impactful.
Mm.
And also, if you're not playing well and you're not getting in the ball in the position to it's not 2021 anymore.
Mm.
He's not going to run
That's a good point.
like that.
That season was a bit of a 2020, wasn't it?
2021, I think. It was the year first year the Panthers won.
Okay.
Look, that you can't compare him now to him then, because that is a completely different beast.
What's a different game?
And you had
entirely,
Alex
yeah.
Johnson scored 34 tries that year, something
Yeah.
crazy. Ruben Garrick also scored 30 tries and
Yeah.
had, you can't. They're not the same.
Mm.
That year was one of the most highest point scoring years.
Yeah.
All that year was unreal. It was just a crazy year.
Mm.
So everyone's comparing him to that time period. It's hard. He's not going to be able to maintain that. He's also coming off injuries.
Yeah.
It's going to take him a bit to be sweet. And also, their team's struggling at the moment.
Yeah.
They started the season. When they started the season well, no one was really saying this kind of stuff. They just went, he's looking a bit injured. Now that they're losing, people are going, I don't know if he's the same Tommy Turbo.
Well, I was talking to Nathan on Friday night when Manly were playing. We were talking about it then, and he was saying when Manly started the season, he looked like Tommy looked good, he looked fit, he looked confident. And he's not looking the same now. A lot of people are saying he's carrying an injury. I don't think he is. If he was carrying an injury, he wouldn't be playing. So it's just, I again, like you say, the team's not going really well, so I don't know how you can sort of just expect Tommy to be playing his best footy. I just think something did look a little off on Friday. It'd just be,
I also think Manly have played their best game of the season already against the Storm.
Yeah.
I think that's as good as a game they'll play all year. And I think even if they were to play finals, I don't think they'll play a better game than that.
Yeah, dude. At the rate they're going, I'd be shocked to see them there in September.
I don't know. I think they'll pick up, but look, they need to do it sooner rather than later. But a lot of that, I feel like Manly is similar in a way to a team not that they're similar in because at the moment the Dragons are awful, but Ben Hunt touches the ball a lot. So Ben Hunt has a bad game. He's their main outlet. He's their guy. Cherry Evans is the guy for Manly.
Yeah.
So if he has a bad game, the team has a bad game.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what happens a lot of the time. If he makes a couple mistakes, it just kind of falls apart for them.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. That's my view on it anyway.
Broncos, excuse me. Nothing flashy about this win. They got a job done.
Yeah.
Magic
round.
Yeah.
They were always going to win that game, weren't they?
Yeah.
I didn't expect and Payne Haasbach, who's been in phenomenal touch.
Yeah.
Good
Good to see. As a New South Wales fan, very good to see.
Stoked. Warriors Panthers. Look, wasn't the most enthralling game of all time.
Weird matchup.
Weird matchup. Weirdly close game as well.
Mm.
Warriors is producing pretty close games all year, to be fair. Panthers getting it done. Mate, I reckon the Panthers are just going to... I think at some point during the Origin period, they're just going to rest a lot of players. And I think they're just going to go, okay, we'll just rest. They just look like a team that would also love a bye.
Yeah.
They just look a bit out of sync.
Yeah.
Not themselves, maybe.
Again, like we've spoken about it on the podcast before, but losing a player of Appy Coruscant's quality, and I think like even seeing him like at the Tigers now, you're seeing how good he really was because he was kind of blending in at Penrith with, at least from my perspective, he was sort of blending in. Of course, I'm going, he's one of the best hookers in the game, but he was kind of blending in with.
I wouldn't say blending. He was literally like one of their best players.
Yeah, I know, but like because he was surrounded by so many good players, it was like. He was kind of just part of the system, and now he's at the Tigers. You're like, oh my god, this guy is so good.
Yeah.
So I think again, losing a player like that in the position that he plays, it's always going to be an adjustment period. So yeah, I think it's a little natural. They look out of sync. I think they'll come good.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree with you though. They do look like a little. They don't look like the same team as
Like
they have over
ferocity.
the last 2 years.
almost like the edge they play with in being like fast and
Yeah,
all that. They
just
don't-
ruthless.
Yeah,
they
don't-
haven't been as ruthless as they
Um,
have in the past.
But look, bye week might help. Resting players might help.
They got a bye coming up.
I'm not sure, but Origin period they usually.
I think they do.
Teams have a bye.
Round 13, maybe.
But yeah, but I can see them like because they're going to make the top 8.
They'll be.
We all know that. They're already pretty. They're in like we're saying they're struggling, but they're what 4th or something.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
come on.
That's
So
crazy.
look, I think they'll probably rest a couple of players, just make a good late run into the season, get it right. Because honestly, what you gonna write them off come finals time?
No,
No.
no,
No, you're
and
not.
like Panthers, like that, like you say, come finals time, they've been there, they've done it, in the big games so many times.
Experience.
No, like South and Melbourne are kind of, and the Roosters to an extent as well, I suppose, are kind of the only other team up there with that same edge to beat the big teams in the big games.
Raiders.
And maybe Parramatta a little bit too, but you just know come finals time, you're backing Panthers.
Yeah. Saying that though, actually, it's Melbourne South game's next. Wrong one. Dolphins Sharks was the next game.
Yep.
Forget that segue.
Dude, what's doing?
Mate, the Dolphins, fins up, mate. The battle of the fins.
Yeah.
And look, I was kind of stoked that the Dolphins won. I was pretty stoked.
Yeah.
They're just getting it done.
Good
They're
to
literally
see.
just getting it done.
Mate.
And it's just showing like, are they kind of like pretty legit team?
Dude, they're a top
They are-
8 team.
They're a top 8 team. They've been in the top 8 the whole year. I don't
And now
think
they're
dropped-
beating top. They're beating the top. They just put the Sharks to the sword.
It was 30-0 after 30 minutes. And like
Hello?
And they versed the Rabbits a couple weeks ago, and they got blown out a little bit at the end. But the first half, they were up for it. They were on top for most of the game.
My dad's been saying all year, like a Wayne Bennett coached side won't lose 2 games in a row too often.
No.
And they lost last week to the Raiders, and they came out this week.
And then before that, 2 comebacks.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
And it's almost like, sometimes you see like teams carry a little bit of fatigue from big games. They just don't look like they are at all.
They turn up again. Everyone who slots in is playing great. They've got injuries. They're missing their halfback, Sean O'Sullivan.
That's the craziest part, right? Like they're literally losing their key playmaker.
And they're sweet.
And they just bring in Nick Arima and he's just throbbing.
Yeah. So, look, I'm happy to see it. Sharks kind of low-key probably due for a little loss. They've been on hot touch, but it just kind of shows the Sharks maybe aren't, because they are. You know what? They are somewhat flat. Although they are a sick team, they are somewhat a little bit flat track bullies. I find. Sometimes.
I was gonna say something similar. I agree.
And they got found out a little bit for that last year. And like when you look at that team, they have an awesome team, but they lack a couple like representative players. Like all those top teams have players that play Origin, etc. But they don't really have that.
Yeah.
Or like they don't have that many people who've played in Well, they've got Finucane, they've got Hines, who played in grand finals.
Yeah. No, I'm,
Matt
I'm,
Moylan
I'm with you on that. They're still like a
has played finals.
yeah. They don't feel like they have the same edge as let's use South for an example. You know, every big game they play, every time they come up against a top team, they're gonna give it a red hot crack.
Yeah.
But Sharks they just don't feel like they're quite there yet.
They have to win. They're going to have to win a couple of those games this year to get that.
Agreed. Agreed. Because they're good to watch when they're on.
Oh, fantastic to watch.
And like Ronaldo has literally in the last year I reckon he's just gone. His rise to being one of the best wingers in the game has been so good to watch.
Yeah. But he also plays on the outside of Nicholas Hines,
Which is,
who's just throwing in beautiful 2 to 3 man cutouts.
yeah.
Will Kennedy's having a great year as well. Teague Wilton's having a sensational year.
Yeah.
So it's not like they lost this game, but like they're going to be in the finals. So they don't have anything to worry about.
Yeah. It's a good point you make about missing a sort of a representative forward. It feels like Finucane's kind of the only guy in there that's like that really kind of old, tough, hard, experienced kind of player.
There. But everyone else is pretty fresh to that aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a couple of them played international level, but it's not the same as playing.
They all just feel a little bit raw, a little bit green.
Yeah.
Um,
But they could come good.
Yeah.
Nico Hines is there. I think this year finals of Nico Hines could see a different animal.
I think that'll be a bit of a wake up call
Like
for the Sharks.
if Nico Hines plays for the Blues, it's probably almost the best thing that happened for the Sharks.
Yeah.
Because he'll come back with a wealth of experience
Yeah.
and be like, okay, I've played some big games for pressure, for game management, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. I think it'll help.
Agreed.
Now, Melbourne Souths. This is definitely probably the game of the round. Souths. Melbourne always seem to beat the Souths as well, but they overcame that hurdle. Melbourne are also usually great at Suncorp. Souths also overcame that hurdle. Cody Walker, best on ground for that game. He was simply fantastic.
Cody Walker's been awesome this year.
Has been great.
He's been awesome. It's like now that he's the big dog, I remember when a couple of seasons ago when they were in the grand final and Reynolds was there or whatever. I remember at times throughout that season, you'd find Cody Walker to be a little bit
Quiet.
and that's when the questions would sort of come up as like, he is a flat track bull, he only shows up when they're winning, whatever. Dude, he is just showing up every week at the moment.
Latrell also has been exceptional.
Yeah.
Exceptional.
Yeah. And much like you say, like Latrell's form attributes a lot to South's form. If Latrell's on, South are hard to stop. And since it was probably maybe 5 or 6 weeks ago when everyone was sort of questioning Latrell's impact on the game, and like since then,
Unstoppable.
Souths have been pretty much unbeatable. So
And a lot of that also is attributed to Ilias, development of Lockie Ilias, that right side developing with Koloamatangi, with Campbell Graham, like whoever ended up playing right wing. Like 'cause they've been changing it up recently, whether it's Milne or Thompson.
yeah.
Look, they are looking a proper threat. And they've had a couple injuries through the middle of the pack. But like, Damien Cook's playing the best he's probably played in a few years,
Yeah.
I'd say. He's been unbelievable.
Yeah.
And like, it's not like he's been playing bad the last couple of years. He's just been overshadowed by Coruscant. But mate, Cookie is the guy.
Yeah. Like,
I love the way Damien Cook plays. I reckon he's so good.
yeah, he's good to watch. Hey,
Yeah.
yeah. Souths are my tip for the comp at the start of the year, and as I get more confident as the year goes on, I'd be really excited if I was a South fan. And they really seem like now they've got the experience. They've been in the finals, they've played a grand final, and they've been in the sort of preliminary range every year. It really sort of just feels like their time is coming.
They're coming. And then they get Jack White next year. What?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. So, mate, they'll go deep this year. They'll go really deep.
Then Melbourne. I don't know. Melbourne's just like they're just like kind of going along. They'll be there at finals. They'll get it done. Like Origin period, they'll miss a couple plays, but they'll still win.
Yeah.
Like, they'll still be around. And they've got a new bench. It almost seems like quite a few new people in their pack. I feel like their outside backs are changing every week.
Well, think about who they lost last year. They lost Jesse Bromwich. They lost Kafusi. They lost Kenny Bromwich.
Mm.
Paps isn't playing.
Mm.
Like, and granted, everyone that's been in their positions has been playing pretty well. Nick Meaney's been awesome this year.
Nick Meaney has been awesome.
But you know, this sort of seems to happen with Melbourne every year. You know, like they won't start that great, or they'll look a little off the pace at times, and you know, everyone starts to go, oh, you know, is this the year Melbourne
Don't.
finally sort of crack? But you know, sort of 6 weeks from now, we'll be sitting here going, mate, come on,
No.
come on.
No, they'll come good. They'll come good. And, you know, they've got Munster, they've got Harry Grant. They're going to be in the finals.
Yeah.
They're going to be dangerous. As we've seen, Munster has literally won an Origin series by himself. Literally an unlosable Origin series.
Yeah.
He won
Yeah.
by himself. So the bloke is a freak. Okay, Tigers, Dragons. Dragons suck. Pooslinger. Tigers. I don't even think the Tigers played that well when I was watching it, to be fair. I just thought the Dragons have literally been very bad, very poor recently.
Yeah, the Tigers weren't great. They look a lot better side than they did 6 weeks ago, that's for sure. I think the resolve, once the Dragons scored their third try to go ahead, you guys scored a try to go up 16-10 or something, 16-12. I really sort of thought, you know, the Tigers of the last 5 years go into their shell there. You know, you pretty rarely you see the resolve for the Tigers to come back and win a game like that. And then the short dropout from Brandon Wakeham bounce over the sideline, and a David Clemmer offload up the middle of the field, and the Tigers are on the 30. And Tupu does well to go over in the corner. Like, I just haven't seen that from a Tigers side in recent memory at all.
Bit of ticker.
A bit ago, and like you say, it wasn't a pretty win.
No.
It was far from, but it was a really good win
What about
for the club. I think.
Dragons butchering that try in the last minute, Moses Sully? Did you see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was ridiculous. That was honestly one of the more ridiculous things I've seen.
Mm.
I couldn't believe it. I turned it off after that. But it was only like 30
I don't know how they
seconds.
didn't score.
I was genuinely shocked.
When Sully picked up the ball from the ground, it was a 4-on-2. He angles back towards the try line. He's basically over. Then he throws it back out to Ravalawa. And Jareem Buller does well to get across and save the try. Yeah, dude, I would have cried if you scored that, because I don't think you guys deserve to win either.
We didn't. I just think, I don't know what's going to change with the Dragons. Is Hook going to go? I liked having Jaden Sullivan playing 7. I liked Ben Hunt at 9.
I liked it too.
I kind of like it better. We need our best players on the pitch, and you can't tell me that, you know, respectfully to Moses Embar and Jacob Little, but like Jaden Sullivan playing 7 and Hunt at 9 is better than Hunt at 7 and either of them at 9.
Well, hooker's such an important position. Like, dude, like we were just talking about, look at Appy at the Tigers. You know,
Yeah.
we look a different side, and I think having Ben Hunt,
But Ben Hunt plays representative footy at 9.
it's his best position.
What? Yeah. Look,
I think they'll keep it. I think
I
they have to.
I think they have to. And then, like, yeah, Lomax obviously come back in the side and all that. Look, I just don't know. Something's got to change. They got to just decide on something and stick with it.
What do you think happens coaching wise with the Dragons?
Well, I was reading about this, and they want, what's his name? The Melbourne Storm assistant.
No idea.
Anyway, I don't want to talk about it and not have my information right, so I'll skip. But there is something I might discuss next week about the Dragons coaching situation.
Tough watch though.
Fucking very tough watch.
Tough watch. Good sign again though. Good signs for the Tigers.
Yeah.
2 in a row.
Yeah, go the Tigers. Roosters, Cows. Look, bit of a poo slinger. This is the real grind.
Dude, how's the rain?
Yeah, like torrential monsoon
Tigers and
rain.
Dragons played in the sunshine, and then there's like a monsoon
Yeah,
at
dead set.
kickoff.
But look, Roosters. Like Roosters been winning recently, but they've not been great.
I don't know what's doing there.
Yeah, neither do I. I don't know. Corey Allen playing in your team is just weird. Daniel Tupou's away. No Tupou. He's been injured.
At some stage, do the Roosters have to let go of Tedesco? Do you think?
No. Why?
Because I just feel like the best setup for the Roosters at least going forward and considering the age of the players,
How old's
is
Teddy
having
now?
Joey Manu at fullback.
How old's Teddy?
He'd have to be in 30, wouldn't he?
Well, I think the only way they would do that is if they if they could keep Suoliti. But they can't. He's going to rugby
What if they got rid of Teddy?
because they'd want Suoliti's backup. as
Yeah,
well.
I guess so. But he's already made his decision.
wouldn't-
I don't think they would let go of Tedesco.
No, neither.
I'm just saying, like, I think Joey Manu's best position is fullback. I think the Roosters are a better side with him there.
Yeah, I just don't think the Roosters have been playing that well. They've just not actually been playing well.
It's one of those ones where I don't think anyone knows what's going on. I don't know. I don't have a solution for you.
I don't know. I can't even analyze it.
Has I heard them talking about it on the Bloke podcast, but like Luke Keary's sort of a player that never really gets questioned.
But why not?
That's what I'm saying. Like he's their
He's played in grand finals.
he's their like their experienced halfback. He's their experienced dominant playmaker.
Mm.
Like look how much scrutiny
Sam Walker gets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. And Keary makes, can make a couple mistakes in the game.
Yeah, has he been playing that well? I don't watch
Well, I
the
don't know.
Roosters too
Like, I
closely.
don't think they have. Well, the Cowboys, look, hard-earned victory is all I'd say. They grinded that one out. That was a grindy game.
They played well.
I think the Cowboys will probably stick to that formula for the next couple of weeks. Just very not throw it. Because, I mean, last year they very much throw the footy.
Yeah.
They were flat. They played with a bit of flash.
Yeah.
Seems like they were talking, all the players were saying, gone back to basics, just play simple.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see
Yeah.
what happens.
Yeah.
I think they're going to just keep. I'll be surprised to see them keep doing that. And then, look, when they start getting some reinforcements, they'll be cheering.
They were good. I think that was the sort of Cowboys team everyone was expecting to come out at the start of the year.
Ruben Cotter had a sensational
He had a
game.
great game. Dude, Valentine Holmes, he is just so elite. He's just such an elite player.
He's a freak.
He's got to be a top 10 player in the comp. No one seems to like put him in. Not that people don't put him in that bracket.
But he's been so good for so long
I
that
know.
everyone just forgets that he's that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's unreal for that
Yeah.
side. I think
For any side. He plays for Australia. He's like one of Australia's best players. He plays for Queensland. He's one of Queensland's best players.
yeah. Yeah.
How many times has he come up with a game-winning play against New South Wales?
Yeah.
Everyone forgets that. He is insanely talented.
He's so good. It'll be like, how do the Cowboys go forward from here? They need to back it up.
Mm.
One win doesn't do it. They've got to turn around and do that again next week.
I still think they could do the bye, just quietly.
Yeah.
Last game, make this one quick. Eels Titans. Eels Titans. What do you got to say about that? Entertaining.
Don't know about
Titans,
this game.
Titans almost needing some new sheets.
Someone was telling me the Titans are 6-3. Is that correct?
They've actually been playing. They've actually won quite a few. Sneakily won quite a few games.
I've been sleeping massively on the Titans.
Yeah.
In my mind, they still suck.
Yeah, they've actually been winning quite a few games.
But they've just been toiling away. This is a great win against Parramatta.
Uh,
Parramatta will be disappointed to lose a game like that.
They'll be rattled.
And they conceded, 5 or 6 try, man. It's just not good enough. So,
But then the Eels again, like similar thing when they versus Manly, almost end up pulling it back and winning. Too little, too late. Titans will breathe a sigh of relief after almost giving up another massive lead.
How
And the
good-
thing, the Titans should have another win. They shouldn't have lost that game against the Dolphins, although they did.
yeah.
But they shouldn't have. But yeah,
How good is David Fafita playing?
simply unreal.
Yeah, and he's driving in hundreds in Supercoach every week.
Yeah, he's been so good. He's been he's gonna be in that Queensland team for sure. Speaking of, bit of Origin discussion, shall we?
Yeah, a little
Just
bit of
quickly,
Origin.
just quickly. Blues discussion. I said last week I'd talk to you about Nico Hines going late on me.
Well, we've kind of discussed it already. Our views obviously kind of differ. I think the teams are out in like a week and a half. I think it's next Sunday they're out,
Are they?
which would be good.
Mm.
Then we just don't really have to talk about it. I think, and I heard Cooper Cronk say it, I think Jerome Luai gets one game. I think that's what happens. I think Oh, but it's just so hard to say because Freddie just could pick Nico. I don't know. I like I said, I think they'll go Jerome at 6 and Appy on the bench, and Nico will be 18th man. And if New South Wales lose game 1, they'll just drop Jerome.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll ditch the 2 hooker thing. I really don't. So I think the only way Nico gets into this side is at 6.
I almost don't like. I don't think the 2 hooker thing. New South Wales should do it. I think they should just pick one. Personally, I don't like. I think Appy and Cook are both 80-minute players.
It's Origin though. You know, like it's different.
But I mean, when
Like
when we win, they play 80 minutes. Like I just don't think it works as well having them both.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like it though. I like when you're like, mate, it's tied forwards and they bring on Appy with like 10 to go before halftime. And he just speeds up that ruck and like everyone's like no one can get a hand on him.
Yeah.
I don't know. And like I think that's what Freddie will do. Like I can't see them not doing that.
Yeah, I know. I can see them picking both, but I don't want them to.
Because the thing with Hines is, right, like it's a matter of time. It's literally a matter of time before he's the 6. So I like there's no.
If Luai was playing well, this would be if the Panthers were like top of the table, you'd be going, oh, maybe if they lose.
Yeah.
But because Hines came back and just hit the ground running, Luai and the Panthers have been a bit quiet.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I definitely think Luai should get picked first just because
It's tried and
he's
tested.
been there, tried and tested, combinations, 1-2 comps. His defense is good.
Yeah.
I just think he's kind of earned the right.
Yeah, I agree.
He's earned the right, and it would be such a New South Wales thing to do to not pick him.
Exactly.
And like, what if they pick Hines and they lose the first game, or you go and switch back to Luai?
Yeah.
No,
Surely
surely not.
I agree.
I don't know. I think I can't see why Nico Hines couldn't get picked at 14 also. But again, who knows?
What, as well as a second hooker?
Maybe no second hooker. Maybe Nico Hines is the guy.
How do they get him into the game though? If they do that, like, where does he come in?
Well, Kalen Ponga came on off the bench one time at 14 and played exceptional. I think sometimes it's just how bad you want it in that aspect. Because KP was literally, can't even remember where he was standing in that game, but he was everywhere.
He was playing lock. He came on at lock. He was playing in the middle.
Yeah, like, come on. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, but in saying that, as much as I think Luai should get picked, I would absolutely love to see Hines and Cleary play together. I think it would be so fun to watch.
Yeah. Like I said, mate, for me, it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time before Hines is there, whether it's game 2 this year, whether it's game 1 next year. I think he's the long-term 6 for New South Wales. He's just got that about him. He's just got that dog.
Yeah, he's an awesome
You know
player.
what I mean?
I wonder who Queensland would rather see playing there. New South Wales.
That's a great question.
I wonder. New South Wales bench still.
Is Gerbo going to be fit?
If Gerbo's fit, he plays.
If Gerbo's fit, he plays.
If Liam Martin's fit, he plays. Missing those two would be massive.
And Colomatungi's my pick, right? Like,
but he's injured.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Liam Martin's out, you get Colomatungi.
But they're both injured.
They're
So you
both
get
out.
Olakawatu.
You get Olakwatu?
To be fair,
That'd be good to see.
I'm not going to lie. If Max King, I'm a bit of a sneaky. If there's these injuries maintained for New South Wales, right, I'm going a bit of a sneaky pick on the bench. I wouldn't be surprised if Max King somehow just snuck his way onto that bench. I wouldn't be shocked. Just quietly.
That's fair.
Okay? I wouldn't say it's a hot take. I mean, it's not a red hot take, but it's more of just like just keep an eye on him. Because I think he's been that consistent in a team that's struggling, and I feel like he's definitely a player that looks like, he's got some ticker and he's got some go. He's got an offload, efficient player.
Does Saifidi get picked? He seems to every year.
Daniel?
Yeah.
Yeah, again, you pick him. You kind of got to pick him. But
you have to, right?
But like, do you go for X Factor or you just go for like, what do you go for? What do you go for off the bench? Because I mean, because just say Liam Martin's fit before Origin plays, you'd expect Olakawatu to probably be on the bench as well. Paolo would be on the bench or Haas.
Yeah. You got Madison there too.
Ryan Madison. you know, there's like they've got a lot of options.
I think with New South Wales, you can like, how can you even try and pick the bench?
Yeah, you don't know what Freddie's
Especially
gonna
with
do.
Freddie there, mate. Like,
We know not to trust Freddie. We've been skeptical of Freddie for a long time. Last year, just mate, Tony Staggs, Talakai. Come on.
I know.
Matt Burton, to be fair as well, like injuries provided, could he sniff his way into the team?
I'd have him in there.
Look,
I'd have him in
it's
there.
hard to let. You're like, but if it's Tommy and Latrell, you're like, okay, you can't not pick him, not pick them, and you're not going to put Burton on the wing because like that's not going to happen because it would be Campbell Graham and it would be To'o. But I mean, if heavens forbid something were to happen and there was a centre spot open up, I know who I'm picking for centre.
Yeah.
I'm picking Matt Burton.
Well, he plays left side though, same as Latrell.
Look, I'm just saying.
I
it's even that because you know how good he is.
You'd
And
have-
like those bombs alone.
yeah,
Like, remember last year? Everyone went crazy when he did that.
yeah, and even remember the try he scored off the grubber.
Yep.
Just like he just went into the Origin arena and was like, yeah, I'm a beast.
And as well, blokes played in a grand final, won a grand final.
Yeah, big game player.
Yeah. Stephen Crichton's would be unlucky not. Anyway, New South Wales are spoiled for choice. That's what we're saying.
It's like, so if Addo Khan's back this week,
Oh,
do you think he gets
again.
picked?
Oh, I don't know. To be fair, I love the Fox. I love him, and I want to see him back. But I think it would be a mistake not to pick Campbell Graham at this point in time, just because.
And it's Toto plays left, right?
Yeah, like you can't not. Campbell Graham is just he's playing too good. It's almost the same argument you could make for Nico Hunt, like similar kind of thing of like, do you give someone who's been there before a go, or do you give this person who's probably playing the best footy of his career? But the Fox though,
I guess it kind of just depends on the fitness of everyone in the next 2
Yeah.
weeks, right? Like,
yeah, it just depends. But like the Fox's injury, pretty serious, like syndesmosis. So
apparently he's back next week. Apparently he's back this week. Sorry,
we'll see. It's a pretty hectic injury.
I know. I thought
And
so
Xavier
too.
Coates did it last year, re-injured it. You know, he redid it. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I'd maybe we'll see. We'll just
I'd
wait
be
and see.
surprised if the Fox was there.
I'd be surprised, but I would also like if he was back, I would be like, hell yeah.
Oh, I'd love it,
It'd
but
a
I'd be
beast.
I'd be surprised.
Tommy and the Fox, what a combo.
Love it. Does he? So who
Yeah,
plays?
they're playing the right. Toto plays on the left
Oh, okay.
with Luai.
Yeah, right.
And with Latrell.
Okay. We're actually so stacked.
It's actually titter.
Mate,
Anyway,
the fact we're 3-2 over the last 5 series and we should be 5-0.
yeah. Yeah. At least 4-1. Like, at least. You know, last year, you can't say we deserved to win that because at the end of the day, Queensland played fucking awesome in that final game. That final game was awesome in general. I was
Yeah.
rattled after that.
Yeah.
But look, speaking of Queensland, this year, they're also stacked.
Yeah.
Their team is also incredibly stacked.
Yeah.
Dane Gagai's been playing good footy. Val Holmes, Cobbo. I'll be surprised if Cobbo doesn't get picked again.
Hammer?
Hammer on the other wing. The bloke makes things happen. He's been pretty good this year as well.
Mm.
Like, if they, like, Tuolungi's been not bad for the Cowboys, but they've just not been on the best of form. I don't think Nano would get picked. Like, Corey Oates has been injured.
Yeah, dude. I'd be going with the Hammer.
I'd be a good wing option. Hammer, Cobbo. That's
And he'd be
pace.
on
Ponga.
he'd be on Val's side and they play the Cowboys together.
Yeah. So look, that is danger. Munster, Cherry Evans, and then look, they are their forward options as well this year. They are as stacked as ever.
Who do they go with in the back row, do you think? You think they go Kafusi? They have
Oh,
to,
you got
right?
to. They'll pick Kafusi and Catewell. They always do.
Yeah.
You get like proven.
Fafita off the bench.
Fafita has to be off the bench, and then 8 and 10, Tino, Papali'i,
Yeah.
9 Harry Grant.
Welch?
Maybe Welsh is starting with Tino.
Tino would come off the bench, wouldn't he?
I'd say Papali'i would come off the bench.
Either
Tino
or.
plays like massive minutes every week.
I know, he's just a bit more of an impact player than Papali'i. You know, you'd have Papali'i and Welch take the sting out of the game and then have Tino come on, you know.
Yeah, I don't know, but Tino does a lot of heavy lifting. I don't know. I just
Either way,
and
I'm
then
scared.
nine Grant or Hunt, who knows?
It'd be Hunt.
But they could change. They would probably change it last minute just cause.
They don't change, mate. That's
No,
New
but
South
like
Wales.
they were just mind games, I reckon.
Nah.
And then second row sorted, and then lock would be
Paddy
Geez,
Caggs.
Paddy Carrigan's probably going to, you'd think, would start at lock.
God.
Cotter off the bench.
They've got so many options.
Cotter off the bench. Gilbert off the bench. Feeder off the bench.
Then Tino. Then you got to pick one of Tino, Welch, and Papali'i as well. Someone's missing out.
Maybe Big Puppy gets picked before Gilbert then.
Oh,
And then for
yeah.
Feeder and Cotter.
Yeah. For Feeder would be the back row option on there.
Yeah, and then 14 would be either Hunt or Grant,
Yeah.
you'd say. So, look, their team is bloody good. Is an awesome team. So, Origin, look, I feel like Queensland will be laughing right now because their team is set. Like, they are sweet.
Now they're good. Now they've come out of their period and they won two series.
Mate, they are sorted. Like
We've bottled that.
they are absolutely chilling, and we are in a shambles talking about who's going to be in our team. They'll be laughing right now.
I'm scared.
I'm absolutely scared. I'm terrified.
And I'm tipping Queensland 2-1 again.
Possibly. EPL quickly. We'll just go through it. Look, Tyler Race needs a bit of a miracle. Arsenal need some luck. They need some results to go their way. They need City to lose pretty much, at least once or twice.
Yeah.
Bit of a bottle job. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Bit of a bottle job.
Yeah.
This is looking like one of the City also Champions League semi-final. They haven't won the Champions League yet. If they do,
They got Madrid.
and then they have the FA Cup final against United.
Bit
So
on.
they could win the treble this year.
Bit on.
Fair bit doing. United have bottled it a little bit as well. They're putting their European place in jeopardy. It's just heating up. If you follow the EPL, it has been a really bad year for a lot of teams. Like a lot of teams are just doing poorly, and it's kind of made it interesting because it's added like a bit of a dynamic.
Yeah.
The relegation race on. A lot of those teams won or lost this morning, so
Yeah,
it heated
right.
up again. Everton won 5-1. You know, just things that just seem to be happening every week that you're going, okay, I don't know what's going to happen now.
Yeah. What do we got? How many games we got left? 6 or 7?
So teams have 3 or 4 games left. Yeah, like games this morning. This was the 3 games that played this morning. Ready? Okay. I'll read you this out. 5-3, Fulham beat Leicester. 5-1, Everton beat Brighton. 4-3, Nottingham Forest beat Southampton.
Wow.
Like,
Who's in the bottom 3 at the moment?
bottom 3 is Leicester,
Leicester's in
Leeds,
the bottom
and
3.
Southampton. Yep. So, look, it's going to be spicy. It is going to be bloody spicy. And I simply cannot wait. NBA, quick NBA wrapped. All these series that are playing during the weeks are heating up. Miami's 3-1 over the Knicks at the moment. Lakers are 2-1 over the Warriors with the game in motion right now. So whoever wins that, that'll be tasty. And then you've got the Celtics and the 76ers tying 2-2. And you've got the Nuggets and the Suns both tying 2-2. So we're in for some tasty NBA for people who are into it. Okay?
Good time of the year for sport.
Great time of the year for sport. Watch. These playoff games have been phenomenal. So if you're going to watch some NBA, do it this year. Do it now. It's worth it, I'm telling you. You won't regret it.
There you are.
Is that everything?
I think that's us.
Awesome. That's us.
Thanks for tuning in if you did. Let us know what you think of the sport app, the back page, episode 1. Done and dusted. It'll be mainly rugby league, but we'll touch base on everything. Just like an extended back page.
Yep.
For our dedicated frequent flyers. Gives you something else to listen to on the tail end of the week as well. But yeah.
That's all we got. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed that. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.